Welcome to Stoic Mindset Wisdom. Today, we're going to uncover one of the most misunderstood truths in human psychology: the surprising realities behind women with smaller breasts. For decades, society, media, and cultural expectations have created a powerful illusion that bigger is always better. From glossy magazine covers to Hollywood movies, the image of the perfect woman is often reduced to physical attributes, particularly breast size. But what if I told you that this entire narrative is built on half-truths, myths, and unexamined biases? What if I told you that smaller breasts carry their own unique psychological advantages, influence human behavior in ways you might never expect, and even reveal hidden truths about attraction, confidence, and identity? Stay with me, because as we peel back the layers of science, culture, and psychology, you'll begin to see how women with small breasts embody qualities society rarely acknowledges. Qualities that can completely reshape how we think about attraction, confidence, and human connection. And just when you think you've understood it all, there's a twist. Chapter 1. The Myth of Attraction. Let's start with the question most people are secretly asking. Do men actually prefer larger breasts? The truth is far more complicated than what advertising campaigns and media have been selling us for decades. Psychological studies reveal that attraction is contextual, cultural, and deeply individual. In certain cultures, larger breasts are linked to fertility and abundance. But in other parts of the world, particularly societies that value youthfulness, agility, and health, smaller breasts are often seen as equally, if not more, attractive. Here's the fascinating part. Men who report a preference for smaller breasts often describe their attraction in terms of authenticity, naturalness, and approachability. For them, it's not just about appearance, it's about the subtle psychological cues small breasts carry. But here's where the story gets interesting. Why does society keep glorifying only one side of the spectrum when psychology tells us the other is equally powerful? That's a question we'll return to later. Chapter 2. Athleticism and energy, common perception, sometimes accurate, sometimes exaggerated, is that women with smaller breasts are more athletic. Think about it. From long-distance running to gymnastics, the physical freedom and comfort provided by a smaller chest often allow for more fluidity of movement, endurance, and reduced discomfort. This is not just biology, it's psychology. When a woman experiences less discomfort during exercise, she's more likely to participate, push herself harder, and develop greater body confidence. That confidence doesn't just stay in the gym, it radiates outward, shaping her self-image, her social interactions, even the way others perceive her. And here's where it gets intriguing. Studies suggest that men subconsciously associate athletic body types with vitality, discipline, and health, key evolutionary signals that can influence attraction far more than raw size ever could. But there's another layer. If athleticism conveys health and discipline, could it be that smaller breasts carry an unspoken psychological advantage? In the realm of first impressions, we'll explore that soon. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Youth in Psychology. Perceptions are everything. And one of the strongest subconscious associations tied to smaller breasts is youthfulness. This doesn't mean immaturity, it means vitality, energy, and an aura of timelessness. Across history, from ancient Greece to traditional Asian cultures, smaller-breasted figures were often depicted in art not as a flaw, but as a symbol of purity, grace, and natural beauty. In modern society, this perception still lingers beneath the surface, even if pop culture rarely admits it. But here's the paradox. While small breasts may carry the aura of youthfulness, media pressures still condition many women to feel less than if they don't fit into the exaggerated ideal of curves. So the real question becomes, how does a woman's self-esteem shift when society tells her she's not enough, while psychology quietly suggests the opposite? That's the tension we'll keep unraveling. Chapter 4. Fashion flexibility and the psychology of choice. Think about the power of clothing. What we wear is not just fabric, it's a statement. And here's where women with smaller breasts often hold an unseen advantage: fashion flexibility. Designers, whether consciously or unconsciously, often cut garments to fit smaller busts. This opens up a wider universe of style choices, from sleek dresses to high-fashion tops, without the constant worry of tailoring or wardrobe malfunctions. But the psychology behind this goes deeper. Someone feels confident in what they wear. That confidence translates directly into body language. Shoulders pulled back, chin lifted. A walk that radiates assurance. Men notice this. Women notice this. Everyone notices this. Confidence born from ease in clothing becomes a silent, psychological advantage because humans are wired to respond to body language long before they process words. So the next time you see a woman commanding a room, effortlessly, in a simple outfit, ask yourself, is it just the clothes? Or the psychological freedom her body type allows? Chapter 5. Authenticity and the natural appeal. Now, let's dig into one of the most powerful psychological triggers in attraction. Authenticity. In a world where cosmetic surgeries, implants, and digital filters dominate the landscape, there's a growing hunger for what feels real. And women with smaller breasts often embody that sense of natural authenticity. Studies show that men who value long-term relationships often seek partners they perceive as genuine rather than manufactured. Smaller breasts, whether consciously or subconsciously, are sometimes linked with being the real thing. But here's the twist. Authenticity is not just about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself. When a woman feels aligned with her natural body, she often projects a stronger sense of groundedness and self-respect. And that, in turn, becomes magnetic. The paradox. Society keeps pushing women to enhance themselves, while psychology whispers that authenticity may actually be their greatest strength. So the deeper question becomes, will authenticity always survive in a world obsessed with artificial perfection? Chapter 6. The objectification trap. Here's where things get darker. Yes. Research suggests that women with smaller breasts sometimes experience slightly less overt objectification in professional or public spaces. But don't be mistaken. Objectification doesn't vanish, it simply shifts form. While some men may see smaller breasts as less intimidating or less provocative, this very perception can lead to another subtle danger, being underestimated. Corporate psychology studies women with smaller breasts reported being taken more seriously in boardrooms. On the surface, this sounds like an advantage, but dig deeper, and it raises unsettling questions. Why should physical appearance influence how seriously someone's intelligence is perceived? Why must women walk a tightrope between being too sexualized or too invisible? This chapter reveals a painful truth. Society doesn't just objectify based on body type, it judges and assigns roles. And women with smaller breasts often find themselves navigating the illusion of respect, while still being subtly categorized. But is there a way to flip this perception into power? That's where the Stoic mindset comes in, and we'll get there soon. Chapter 7. Rest, recovery, and the silent advantage. Now, let's talk about something almost nobody considers: sleep. Yes, sleep. A woman's ability to rest deeply and comfortably may not sound glamorous, but it's one of the most overlooked factors in long-term health and beauty. Smaller breasts often allow women to sleep in a wider range of positions on their stomach, on their side, or curled up without discomfort. This small but consistent advantage has ripple effects. Better sleep leads to improved posture, sharper mental focus, healthier skin, and even more stable moods. And here's the kicker. Studies in psychology show that people who are well-rested are perceived as more attractive, more approachable, and more trustworthy. So while society obsesses over curves, the quiet, invisible advantage of better sleep might be shaping perceptions in ways no one talks about. Could it be that the smallest details, like the quality of rest, hold the biggest influence over how we experience beauty? Chapter 8. Approachability and attraction. Here we reach one of the most fascinating psychological findings. Certain studies suggest that women with smaller breasts are often seen as more approachable. Some men perceive them as less intimidating, easier to connect with, or even less high maintenance. Now let's pause. These are perceptions, not truths. But in psychology, perception often guides behavior. If a man feels less pressure or intimidation in approaching a woman, he's more likely to initiate conversation. It's more likely to build rapport, more likely to let attraction grow naturally. This doesn't mean smaller breasts are universal. Preference it means they carry a different type of social energy. Energy is magnetic. But here's the suspenseful twist. Does being seen as approachable always empower women? Or does it sometimes lead to being taken for granted? That's the tension at the heart of attraction psychology. Chapter 9. Body satisfaction and cultural freedom. Here lies one of the most critical truths. Body confidence is never just about the body, it's about the cultural lens through which it's viewed. In Western cultures that glorify exaggerated curves, women with smaller breasts often internalize pressure and doubt. But in societies where diversity of body types is celebrated, smaller-breasted women